Hello, everyone. Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to another episode of the Back of the Pack podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Walker. My pleasure as always. Producer Katie will be along shortly. I did not give her any warning that I was going to do this recording. This is earlier in the week than we would normally record together. I needed to turn this on and talk some things out, and you guys are going to be the recipients of it, at least for the first half of this podcast. As you can see, if you are an eagle-eyed fan watching on the YouTube, yes, I am still in sweaty running attire. I am sweating like crazy right now. I just got back in the door from a run on one of these really, really hot days that we're in right now. It's 95 degrees when I went out and ran. Just got back in from about 3.5 miles. So yeah, I am a sweaty mess. But I did a lot of thinking while I was out on my run, and I wanted to just kind of to talk things over. So again, I do this podcast because I have a lot of experience in running. I will never sit here and say that I'm a good runner. I will never sit here and say that I'm even an average runner. So I have good days and I have bad days. I feel like I've done this long enough that I hope that people can learn from my mistakes and screw ups. It's like I make the mistakes so that you don't have to. That is why I do this. And while I maybe give off some kind of, I don't know, an appearance or an aura of like a running coach, trust me, I am not. And there is nobody harder on themselves than me when it comes to things athletically, running included. I remember way back in the day when I was a much younger man and I was a very good athlete. Okay. And in my mind, I can still be that guy. Unfortunately, Father Time does have a lot to say about that. So I know I will never be that guy again. So I'm going to kind of fill you in on a little bit of what's going on in Kyle's world as I wipe the sweat from my brow. I play 2 hours once a week of men's slow pitch softball. Right now, I am mired in the worst slump that I have ever had. I could not hit the softball right now if it was a beach ball. It's not that I'm swinging and missing. I'm hitting it just normally right at someone or with no power to it whatsoever. Now, look, I could make some excuses. Yeah, I've got nerve damage in my shoulder. 2 open heart surgeries will do that. It affects my throwing. It affects my swinging. But I've hit before. I just can't hit right now. I am playing softball terribly. I also play in a men's over 30 recreational indoor soccer league. I'm playing terrible there too. I am freaking awful right now. I feel like I'm a complete liability on the field. Now, everyone out there has played soccer longer than me. A few years back, I was the 40-year-old rookie who had never played soccer before. Sure, I played soccer when I was a little small child. Everyone played soccer for at least a season. I think I actually played 2 seasons in 4th grade and 5th grade. So back in my childhood, when I was in 4th grade and 5th grade, soccer was certainly not the thing that it is now. Soccer, of course, has blown up and it is huge, not only around the world, but in this country. Always been big around the world, getting bigger every day here in the States. Pardon me, I'm going to take a drink. I'm a little parched. And then, of course, we have to mix in training and running. Now, I can't complain too much about my running. It's been okay. I last week I was able to share that I had finally gotten a 5K under 30 minutes. Okay, yay, go team, go. If I went out there right now, I wouldn't be able to do it. This run that I just went on, my time was terrible. Yes, very hot. It was very hot outside, and I took it easy, walked a lot more than I normally would have if it were a 50-degree overcast day. It's certainly not that, as it's 95 and sunny and we're in a heat advisory. But as I'm out there, I'm beating myself up for how bad I'm playing softball and how bad I am playing soccer and how my running just isn't what it's supposed to be. My training isn't good. And I'm trying to figure out why. I'm sitting there, not really sitting there. I was running. Like, what is wrong with me? And I feel like I finally hit on it. And again, I want to make the mistake so that you don't have to. So we're going to take this to the running world right now. It's always the joke that in this running world, This is our free pastime. This is our free hobby. All you have to do is put on a pair of shoes and you go outside and run. It's our free thing. We all know that joke. If you've been a runner more than 5 minutes, you know the humor behind it. So, as my train of thought derails, so we have that, and yes, this is our free hobby. But we do invest in this. We put money into it. We pay for the good shoes, and we pay for the races, and we go to the group runs, and we invest a lot of our time in it. So we want to be good. I want to be good at running. You want to be good at running. If I go over to my softball world, I want to be good at softball. I have some limitations, but it doesn't mean that I can't be good at it. And then in soccer, yes, I haven't grown up with it. I don't have all the skills that everyone else has, but I want to be good at soccer. So what is it that can make us good at running, make me good at softball, and make me good at soccer? And I finally came up with it. We have the KC Hustle Club. And if you're unfamiliar with the KC Hustle Club, if you're mildly new to this podcast, it's kind of the offshoot of this podcast. So this is the Back of the Pack podcast. The one piece of feedback, and I'm not even going to call it negative, was that the name of this podcast does not pertain to all runners. There are runners of all different skill levels and all different speeds who maybe like this podcast and like what we represent and like some of the stuff we talk about, but it doesn't pertain to them because they are not Back of the Pack runners. So we came up with the KC Hustle Club, which is to be all-encompassing. There is a yearly membership. If you want to be a member of the KC Hustle Club, you'll get a nice dry tech shirt that says KC Hustle Club. You get a monthly newsletter. We don't inundate you with emails. And we have a private Facebook group. And if you are a member of the KC Hustle Club and you're like, yeah, well, the Facebook group is lame. Okay, that's completely my fault right now because life got busy and I have neglected my responsibilities. So please, you yell at me. I understand. I know, what a great sales pitch. I freely admit that I am totally screwing up the Facebook page. I'll own it. But still, sign up. So we have the KC Hustle Club. And the reason we have the KC Hustle Club, the reason that it is called that, the producer Katie came up with that name and that I put my stamp of approval on it, it's the hustle. The hustle is free. Our hobby is not free, but the hustle is free. Okay, so if I go play softball, yeah, okay, maybe I don't hit well. Maybe I'm not lacing them over the fence. Maybe I'm not even getting it to the damn outfield. But if I hit that ball, you can bet your bottom dollar I am going to run as fast as I possibly can to first base. If I'm on first base and someone hits the ball, you can bet I am going to run as hard as I can to second. I'm going to aggressively turn. I will take 3 if the situation allows it. I will chase down every fly ball. I will back up every play because the hustle is free. So while I might be playing softball terribly, and I am, if you ask anyone on my team who just flat hustles more than anyone else on that squad, I think every single one of them would say it was me. Because when I can contribute through skill, I can always contribute through effort. We can always up our effort. You don't have to be good at something to hustle, to show effort, to grind at it. You don't have to be great. Honestly, I think that's how you get better. You hustle, you put in the work, and you grind. Same for soccer. Okay, I don't have the skill sets that everyone else has. I am in league with guys who played at least high school soccer. Some have played college soccer. They have all been playing for years and years and years. And here I was some schlub who 3 years ago at 40 years old, because my daughter played soccer and was a hell of a player, I thought, well, this looks like fun. So when one of her coaches was asking around, seeing if anyone played soccer because his team needed a guy, I was like, hey, sure, I'll play. And then I dove in and saw just how out of my depth that I was. But when I step on that field, I give it absolutely everything I have. I hustle as hard as I possibly can. And of course, this is going to be the time where my dog decides he wants attention and he's going to bark at me. Ain't that right, buddy? So I get on that field. I will chase every ball. I will go into every corner and try and take the ball away from the other player. I will try and get in front of any shot, and I will try and give the best passes that I can to the guys who actually know what they're doing. Because again, while I don't have the skill, I can absolutely have the hustle. I was going to pause it. I can't even find the button. Oh, there's the button. I'll be right back. Okay, my dog was telling me I was way past his dinner time. All right, that problem is solved. Okay, so there's my softball situation. There's the soccer situation. Before I get into the running part of this little rant that I'm on, because she's not on here, I can talk and I can say this. The hustle doesn't always have to be about running, or it doesn't always have to be about sports. The hustle can be wherever you are. If you look at producer Katie, again, who's not on this call right now, there's a good reason why she made it the KC Hustle Club, because you guys should see how much she's hustling right now. Okay, so she is the graphic designer and producer of this podcast, of the Back of the Pack podcast. She is also basically the boss lady of the KC Hustle Club. She also did the website for Keeping Clean for Coop, our friends at the Fighting Fentanyl 5K. She just did their website for a year. They didn't pay her. She didn't ask to be paid. She volunteered to do that. She is the graphic designer and social media person for not one, but two veteran 501c3 charity people, Hero Fund, and I think it's Hero Fund, and then, of course, Team Fidelis, of which I'm a member of as well. So she is both all their social media and all their graphic design. And then she also, to my knowledge, it could be more, is the graphic designer and social media person for not one, but two local country music artists. So, and not to mention, she also has a full-time job and two kids. So she has that hustle. She has that grind. She has what it takes to be successful. And what she may not have in skill, and I'm not insinuating that she has lack of skill in something, but in any of us, whether it be in softball, soccer, or life, that lack of skill can be made up with the hustle, with that grinding, and with that desire to be better. So now let's go to running. We are in summertime. It is freaking hot outside, man. It is now officially past the summer solstice. We are officially in summer. We are officially under heat advisories. We all now have choices to make about this grind, about this hustle, about getting after it, and maybe being the better runner that we want to be in the fall when all the fall races roll around. Because what we're going to be faced with is, okay, we're going to be faced with the heat. Do we want to go out and get our miles? Do we want to face 95 degrees and the sun at 4:30 in the afternoon when we get off work, or when we had that spare moment to go and get a run in? Or do we want to stay in our air conditioning? Okay, you have to choose. You have to choose to hustle. You have to choose to grind. You have to choose to train. So you're going to have to say, I'm going to face this heat, or I'm going to get up earlier in the morning to get in my miles. I'm going to make sure that I stay consistent, because I personally, Kyle, am horrible at consistency, especially when it's hot like this. Yeah, I could definitely, and I almost did it today. Again, as I'm sitting here today eating, I'll show you right now, my kryptonite, Cool Ranch Flamin' Hot Doritos. As I am downing this bag today and feeling increasingly awful about myself, I could have just stayed here. I could have gone upstairs and I could have turned on something on TV. Right now, I'm trying to get caught up on season 3 of The Mandalorian, and I could have taken my little bag of chips and I could have plopped my fat, happy ass down in that chair, and I could have done nothing. And then it would have been another day of training wasted. Or I did what I did. Crumpled up this bag. I'm going to throw away the rest of these crumbs. And I got out there. I put on my running shoes and I went out the door. And you know what it cost me? Nothing. Because hustle is free. The grind is free. Training is free. We just have to want it. So what else is going to get us here in these hot months? Where else are we going to fall short? Oh, that's easy. Do I want to go for a run? Or do I want to go to that barbecue? Do I want to go eat my weight in ribs, in burgers, hot off the grill? Or do I want to sweat to death getting in my 4 miles? What do you want to do? Right? These are problems we're going to be faced with. And it's not just now. It's not just this month. It's June. It's July. It's August. It's damn near into September, because we still have Labor Day. A little easier when the kiddies go back to school because it feels a lot less summery, but it's not like it just turns cold immediately. This is something we're going to be facing for a very long time. And if we're making the decision, like me, to go to the bar, to sit in the air conditioning, to watch sports, to drink too many beers and eat too much food, okay, if I'm doing that in June, July, and August, then what are my races in September going to look like? Y'all, if you're doing a fall half marathon or full marathon, your training starts in like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Seriously. Like your summer's almost over. If you're doing any of these races that we have talked about in abundance in the next few months, your training starts, whether it be the 20 week, if that's the 20 week, it starts like now. The 16 weeks start in early July, the 14 weeks, mid-July, and then the 12 weeks, end of July. And you are training for your fall races for the Kansas City Marathon, the Garmin Kansas City Marathon, the Garmin Half Marathon, the Des Moines Marathon, the Good Life Halvesy, Energy City down in Texas, wherever you may be going. Hell, you might be going to Chicago for the Chicago Marathon in October, Berlin in September, New York in November. Training's right around the corner. So where are you going to hustle? Where are you going to put your grind? Are you going to go to the barbecue? I mean, sure, go to the barbecue. Limit yourself. Or at least know you still have to get your run in. Get your run in, shower up, and then go. The effort, man, the effort is where it's at. Because even where skill fails us, and trust me, no one listening to this right now is the perfect runner. We have very good runners, but we don't have any perfect runners. The closest perfect runner came in 9th place in Boston, okay? And that's Kipchoge. He's as close as we're going to get. Even he's not perfect. We have no perfect runners. You have to put in the effort, and then you're going to have to decide how you're going to do it. Because, yes, I have made all the wrong decisions so far this running season. It's like after I got back from the Boston Marathon, everything just fell apart. Yes, I have run some good races since then. I have. But I'm not where I want to be. The training has been inconsistent. The diet part of it, and again, I don't do like big crash diets, just eating without my head up my ass and without drinking too much beer, that has been non-existent. So while I've lucked into a few PRs, I also could just as easily luck into my first DNF. I could luck into a bad injury. I could just luck into not wanting to run anymore because it's become so damn difficult. I don't want to do any of that. I need to be consistent about training. I need to be consistent about dieting and eating correctly, drinking less. And then we all have to be consistent about putting in the effort. Get out there and get your run. Because if you don't, fall is going to be here before you know it, and your races are going to suck, and you're going to end up frustrated, and you're not going to have a great time. Whereas if we put in the work now, then we absolutely crush it come this fall. So accountability being a thing, I am more than happy to be an accountability buddy. If you need me to be your accountability buddy, to make sure that you get in your run the day you need to get a run in, I will harp on your ass until you put foot to pavement. I am glad to do so. And then also in accountability, I said it on last week's episode when, again, a huge thank you to Krista from St. Jude for coming on. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I think it's fun to talk about that stuff, but I am in. I am already officially in now after the episode. I registered. I will be running the St. Jude Memphis Marathon on December 2nd in Memphis, Tennessee. Full marathon. I am in. So you know what? That means no more jacking around, no more being ridiculous. I need to get on schedule. I need to get on diet, and then I just have to grind. It's all about this grind because, baby, the hustle is free. There's a reason we called it the KC Hustle Club. The hustle is what is important in this sport of ours, in this hobby of ours, in this nonsense that we do to ourselves. And again, I am trying to say this to myself as much as anyone else as I'm sitting here still sweating from today's run. Getting a little better, but still a little soggy over here. Be glad you're not, it's not smell-o-vision. You're not within proximity of me. But look, I felt on this run like I kind of put my finger on my problem, whether it be the softball problem, the soccer problem, and the running problem. Okay, softball, I don't know if it's going to get any better, but I can work harder. I can try harder. I can analyze what I'm doing wrong. I can adjust for the things that I can't do anymore. I've been playing this game for 25 years. I am that stupid, savvy veteran who knows the ins and outs and knows the tips and tricks. I know how to hit. I'm just not doing it. So you know what? If I can't do it like I used to because of my shoulder, find a new way to do it. Find a way to change your swing to see the ball differently. I got to come up with something rather than stepping up to the plate and trying the same old BS over and over and over again that hasn't worked now in months. All right, on the soccer, I'm not going to get better. I'm not going to suddenly be the best guy in the team. I am easily the worst guy on the team, but I'm in the top few of people who will get out there, who will run their ass off, and who will absolutely just be a pest to the other team. Because when the other team gets the ball, trust me, I'm coming. I'm coming for it. And you might get around me, or and I might miss, or whatever the case is. And I really don't ever shoot the ball because I got a terrible leg. But I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to come and I'm going to take it. If there's any chance, I'm going to make your life hell because that's what I do. And then running, I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to stop making excuses and I'm going to stop being irresponsible. Hey, I want to have fun this summer. I want you to have fun this summer, but we need to be reasonable about it. And then we need to be aware of it. Yes, have your night of drinking. Hydrate well before it, hydrate during, hydrate after, and maybe you don't miss your run the next day because you've had a little too much and you're not feeling so great. We can be smart about it. And then when you get out there, get after it. Stay safe. Please stay safe with this heat. Don't get ridiculous. Stay safe. Listen to your body. But you know what? Get your training back on track. If you have fallen off track like many of us have because it's summer and we are getting into the dog days, I get it. Get back on track. Let's be accountable to each other so that we can all make it through the summer. We can get our training in and we can all start crushing these races that are going to be here before you know it. Check your watch. Yeah, what time is it? Oh, it is before you know it. That's when they're going to be here. Again, the Plaza 10K, which kind of, at least in my mind, it's in early September, kind of is the unofficial kickoff of fall running season because we've had some very beautiful Plaza 10Ks, not blistering hot, some cold, but that's to me kind of the start. So we've got Plaza 10K on September 10th. And then after that, we've got the KC Hustle Run on September 17th. Go to kchustlerun.com. Get signed up if you haven't already. And then boom, we're on, man. Then it gets crazy after that. So really, I know it's summer and I know it's hot, but we've all got to be accountable. We've got to get into it. So there we go. I wanted to share that. So I am going to turn this off for now. And then when you see us again here in but a blink of an eye, producer Katie is going to be here with me and we will finish up this episode. And hopefully you found this mildly helpful. If you didn't, if you think I'm too preachy, I apologize. Again, it was on my mind, and so it came out of my mouth. Now it's in your ear holes. That's how this works. So, okay, let's bring in producer Katie here in about 3, 2, 1. All right, everyone, as promised, here's producer Katie, just maybe a little later than planned. Hello, producer Katie.
Hello, Kyle. Sorry, I had a few things to do. It took me a little longer to get to the microphone than I had originally anticipated.
That's right. Yeah, now it's several days later. I'm wearing different clothing. It's nighttime outside and my beard is shorter. But, other than that, this was practically a seamless transition between the earlier recording and now.
Yeah, and there's tons of fireworks going off outside. And
oh, wow. That was a good one. Sorry. As soon as you said it, one starts rocking my window. Super great.
It's like I produced it.
Right? Yeah. No, that wasn't planned, everyone. So anyway, producer Katie got to sit and listen to my rant and ravings from earlier. Did you have anything you felt like adding to that particular conversation that I had with myself?
Well, first of all, it was very nice of you to say all the kindly things that you said about me. That was very nice.
Stop.
I mean, I will pay you later, so don't worry about it.
Oh, no, you pay us plenty with all of your services for the podcast. So, yeah, I think we're even.
Blood, sweat, and tears, man.
Right. Or at least carpal tunnel and blue light headaches.
Back, you got to do your stretches, sitting
That's right.
Computer all day long. Yeah. Yeah. No, I actually really loved listening to your rant, tangent.
Was it kind of a rant? I mean, it might have been.
Message?
Sure.
And because honestly, it's exactly how I feel. Like the hustle is just like the most important thing in life. And if you don't have the hustle, what are we doing here? Like, I mean, to me, it's that drive that makes life fun and I mean, sometimes a little chaotic, but
Just a little.
a little full. But yeah, I mean, I've met some of the most amazing people, you included. I've met some of the most amazing people and done some of the most amazing things in this lifetime just because of that hustle and because of the people I've met along the ways. So I wouldn't change it for the world. Maybe take one or two more vacations, but other than that, who needs a life?
Yeah. Yeah. Who needs that nonsense? But no,
I don't.
upon reflection, because I've had a couple days since I recorded that, I do want to just kind of not emphasize or reiterate, but just say, look, I want everyone to stay focused on their goals and I want us to do well. And I want like fall running season to be amazing, as I was saying. But I'm also not sitting here telling you, oh, don't have a life or, don't, skip the barbecue and run or, make all decisions solely based on your running schedule. I hope nobody took it as such because that's certainly not what I meant. But, just a little encouragement to keep track of your goals because this time of year they're very easily lost. They're very easily kind of set to the side or out of sight, out of mind. And so whatever your goals are coming up in the fall, hopefully the KC Hustle Run is one of your big goals. Just keep it in mind, keep it in the back of your mind when you're making your decisions about your summer plans and just the way that you see these next few months going. So if I was too harsh, I apologize. I wasn't trying to be. I was just trying to be maybe emphatic. But again, I'm not telling you that you must live and die by the run. That is not what we do because we are not the elites, and even the elites don't do that. But
I will say, oh, go
yeah,
ahead. Sorry.
no, hit me.
I was going to say, I will say that one thing that I don't really have a great handle on is balance. Balance is huge. And I applaud runners because I think that running is part of that balance where you guys take that time for yourself. And I think that is so equally as important. So I applaud the balance part of that one, because I don't have a whole lot of balance.
No, hey, that's actually a perfect way to put it. It is that balance, the balance between personal life and your training, the balance between, kind of what you want to do and what your goals are, the balance between, having fun and being disciplined. So no, balance is an excellent way to put it. So
Yeah.
well done. That's why she's a producer. Mm-hmm. She's got all the good ideas.
I try.
That's right. So as I said, maybe your goal is the KC Hustle Run. As well, it should be September 17th, 2023, Overland Park, Kansas, in Corporate Woods, kchustlerun.com. Go sign up now if you haven't. 5K, 10K, Heartland 30K series. Get there. Anyway, I digress. Katie, this past week, has come up with the most spectacular of ideas. At least two people right now have benefited from spectacular idea. And I'm going to let Katie tell you about what she is doing between now and let's just call this 4th of July, because we are basically at the 4th of July holiday, as the gunpowder in the air would indicate. Yeah. So from 4th of July to KC Hustle Run on September 17th. Katie, what did you come up with? Tell the folks about it, because it's pretty fun.
Well, I thought about the fact that we meet so many cool people at the runs. I know you meet a hell of a lot more than I do because I don't go to a lot of them. But I do get to talk to a lot of people who either we talk to for the podcast or, I have happened to meet at one of the races. And I thought, we don't tell their stories enough. And that's kind of one of the things that we have this great ability to do, right? Is to tell people's stories and to be part of that running community and to, kind of just showcase those people. Mm-hmm. And so we decided for the people who have signed up for the KC Hustle Run that we want to do a showcase of our runners. Mm-hmm. So anybody who is interested in being showcased their running journey, I have a questionnaire that I've written for everybody. Being not a runner, I hope that it's got some good questions that you guys want to know. And feel free to, share a question with me. Mm-hmm. If you think that there's another question that should be on the questionnaire that's not answered, basically I send it out and then people fill it in and I copy and paste it. So you guys are seeing that questionnaire because it's what's going out there from our website to you guys. So yeah, we've been able to do 2 runners so far. I would like to every couple of days put a new running showcase out there. We'll just see how many people volunteer. We have less than, let's see, how many days, Kyle? We've got
I believe we are at about 76 days from when you and I are recording right now. I can't speak as to when people will listen to the show.
Right.
If you are not there for the the debut, the moment it drops, which if you're not, tell Spotify or iTunes to alert you when a new episode drops. I mean, come on, let's be professional here. But yes, as we record right now, we're about 76 days away from the KC Hustle Run. Okay,
so I would like to get maybe every other day or every couple of days a new spotlight out there. Yes, that makes more work for me.
It does.
But I like to hustle. So, bring it. Bring it. I want to see us showcase as many of our runners who are signing up for the KC Hustle Run on our page. So, what do you think, Kyle?
I love it. I think it's great. If you're going to do the questionnaire because you're signed up for the KC Hustle Run, then I will absolutely give you a shout out on the show. So our first victim, person that we featured was Cody. And many of the people in the running community know Cody. He is about a year into his running life, his running journey. Cody is at darn near every race and is a remarkably nice person. Like, he's ridiculously kind. And I almost find him a little suspect at times because he is such a nice guy. There's something about that guy. There's something about you, Cody. I got my eyes on you. You better watch it, man. No, I'm kidding. Actually, Cody and I were just talking this past weekend about maybe road tripping together down to the Energy City Half Marathon in Midland, Texas in October. So we love Cody. Cody's a good dude. So please read up about Cody. And the picture that you chose for him was hysterical as he was swimming on the ground towards a finish line, which was pretty funny.
I did not choose it. I asked people to supply their favorite, and that, as you can tell, you already get Cody's personality a little bit if you assume that is the picture that he chose. So,
yep. And then our second one is Amanda, and Amanda has been down with the podcast since pretty much day one. She is one of our, I'm not going to say old as in age, but she has been down since day one. So she is one of our oldest fans. She is an elite level runner here in town, and I know that everyone who has been in a race will recognize Amanda, and we'll see her as she scampers away and leaves you in her dust. She is also that person that runs like 6 miles before a 5K as a warm-up, and then she runs 13 more after the 5K as a cool down. So Amanda was our second featured.
I really want to see her show, like, her trophy room, because that girl walks away with every trophy at, I think, is at every race. I mean, the bling she shows up on her Facebook page. Oh my gosh, that girl.
And so she is proof positive that even though this is called the Back of the Pack podcast, we have all folks from all ability levels who will listen and sometimes enjoy this show. I'm not going to say every time, but sometimes enjoy the show. So yes, we have Cody, who is ridiculously kind. We have Amanda, who is ridiculously talented. And maybe you are next if you are signed up for the KC Hustle Run. And if you send us a message and let us know that you would be interested. But I know, how many more do you have in the hopper right now? We have at least 4 or 5 more people who are sending in questionnaires. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm excited. I'm excited that people are getting excited about it. Like, I think that the Kansas City area running community is amazing. And I love that they just want to learn more.
Absolutely. I would put the Kansas City running community against any other city's running community. Honestly, I've been to other cities where they talk about, oh yeah, we have maybe 2 races around the area per year, and we have like 1 half marathon every year. Like, oh really? We have a half marathon every weekend. We have 25Ks on any given weekend. Like, this is a pretty awesome running area. So yes, if you decide to fill out the questionnaire and if you are signed up for the KC Hustle Run, then we will feature you, and then I will give you a shout out here on the podcast. And so that's just winning all over the place.
All over.
All over. Yep. And then if you want to see your little write-up, of course, it'll come out in an email if you are subscribed to our newsletter. And then we are putting it on our social media pages. So make sure you're following the Back of the Pack podcast on Facebook and Instagram, because that's where the stories go out. And then you can just count all the likes and the hearts and the smiley faces and the laughing faces that you get when we post your story.
Because, and go out there and support those whose stories have them out already, so they feel that love.
Yep, because they want to feel the love. We don't want to make Cody sad. Poor Cody.
No, I don't want to see him sad. Like, he's just so delightful. Like, I feel like that should be wrong for Cody.
I don't think
to be
he gets sad. He just permanently smiles.
Well, I don't know, but I definitely wouldn't want to be the cause of that.
And I know I'm pretty sure I will actually be seeing Cody here in just a few hours when we go doing the Ward Parkway 4 and the 4th 4-miler. Pretty sure he's also going to be at that race. So with that, Katie, we're going to wrap this up because some of us have to go to bed because we got a race in the morning.
And some of us have to produce a podcast.
You mean some of us get the distinct honor and pleasure to produce this particular podcast because there is nowhere else that they would rather be.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah.
And on that note, this has been the Back of the Pack podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Walker, joined as usual now by producer Katie. We are a product of OKKC Sports, and we'll be back next week with another fun episode. And please keep me in thoughts, prayers, good juju, happy whatevers, because in about 5 days, I'll be doing my first triathlon. So I bet you'll never guess what we're going to talk about next time. Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.